In the summertime, carp will be feeding up in the water and on the surface, and these are the floats to catch them. This range is perfect for fishing on commercial venues, and all of the floats are completely designed and manufactured in the UK. The bagging waggler is designed to keep a constant cloud of bait in the water to send the fish into a feeding frenzy. But to do this, you need to cast at the same spot time and time again. Fish are drawn to the splash as the bagging waggler impacts the water. It's just like ringing the dinner bell for the fish. On some venues, this tactic will produce fish from the very start of the session, but at most venues it can often take an hour or more to get that first bite. Make a couple of casts to establish the distance you want to fish, then clip your line into the line clip on your reel to ensure you will be fishing the same spot every time. Ultra recommend you use £6 to £10 main lines depending on the venue and the size of the fish in it, with the bagging waggler or the splasher. Hook lengths between 12 inches and 6 feet are used depending on the depth of your swim. The bagging waggler and the splasher are best fished with a hair rig when using pellets, meat and corn, or a bayonet for boilies. Use hook sizes from size 10 to 14 depending on the venue. Match scene. The perfect running water collection for any match or pleasure angler, whatever the river. Utilising 50 years of perfecting and mastering the art of float manufacture, these floats are completely designed, engineered and manufactured in England. River fishing has changed somewhat over the years, although Billy Lane's original patterns have influenced Ultra's modern designs and still form the basis of what makes a good float pattern. The running line range covers all river applications. Whether you're fishing deep sluggish rivers or shallow fast moving rivers, Ultra's patterns will do the job with finesse and control. Ultra has been making fishing floats and tackle for 50 years and has perfected manufacturing techniques and processes that are unrivaled and envied by other companies around the globe. Ultra are proud to remain 100% British and unmatched in product quality. There are 6 types of stick float and 8 patterns of waggler plus a bollo and an avon pattern to cover every running water requirement. The sticks are manufactured with alloy, cane and lignum stems. Designed for close control fishing at short to medium range, although the lignum sticks cast like a bullet, and in currents ranging from slow to medium fast. Used with a spread out shotting pattern to tempt fish feeding throughout the water column, or a bulk of small shot to take the bait through nuisance small fish to the bigger specimens on or near the bottom. The peacock wagglers are ideal for fishing beyond the range of the stick floats. Use a straight waggler in shallow, medium to fast paced water and an insert model for deeper, slower flows. The clear plastic models are especially useful in clear water where a normal float might spook the fish. Ultra's quality peacock range and clear wagglers have a universal appeal and will help any angler catch fish. Classic range. A range of floats for still and running water applications. These are the perfect combination of traditional designs, modern materials and today's manufacturing techniques. There will always be a place in tackle boxes for floats made traditional, effective designs, and Ultra make the best of them. Utilising modern manufacturing techniques and materials such as clear plastic and top quality balsa, the classic range covers waggler fishing on rivers and still waters, avon and chubber fishing for big fish on faster flowing water, plus specialist float fishing techniques such as the onion and slider. There is something in this range for every type of fisherman, from matchman to pleasure angler, specimen hunter to occasional angler. Although the materials may be modern, every float in the range draws on Ultra's heritage in the float making field. When Billy Lane designed some of these floats, he was creating designs that would endure for as long as anglers went fishing. Like all ultra floats, the classic range is entirely made in the UK, so the quality is unsurpassed. The Sidewinder. The Sidewinder 3 bite indicator allows you to fish very sensitive tips because they are under no strain when casting out a bomb or feeder. In action, the indicator sits on top of your rod and you fish with the rod pointing straight out at your terminal tackle, not fishing at 90 degrees to it as you normally would be when fishing a feeder rod. By fishing direct to your terminal tackle, swims such as those restricted by surrounding trees can be fished much easier, while striking is direct, quicker and more effective. The Sidewinder is slightly offset from the rod, allowing the angler to read every movement on the tip. Pull round and drop back bites are easily seen by the amplified movement of the indicator. With this setup, neither wind nor wave action will affect the Sidewinder, meaning that this method can fish conditions that would defeat ordinary quiver tip and feeder rods. Understanding how Polaris ledger floats work and the benefits they bring is an essential part of today's specialist angler's armoury. These floats offer a new and different approach to mainstream fishing methods and will overcome problems where other tackle falls short. Polaris floats combine the top presentation of ledgering and feeder fishing with a supreme bite indication of float fishing. Master this method and your catches will rocket. Understanding how Polaris ledger floats work and the benefits they bring is an essential part of today's specialist angler's armoury. Setting up Polaris. Simply thread your line down through the unique Friction device. The small hole takes lines from £3 to £6. The large holes for lines up to £20. Use mono, not braid. Wind the reel line through the Friction device until you achieve the correct casting position. Cast the finished rig as normal. When the bomb or feeder hits the bottom, keep the reel line slack and the Polaris float will surface. Then tension the line to lock the float in place. The Polaris float should be fished with the rod pointing straight at it and not at an angle as in conventional ledgering techniques. When you reel in, the Polaris float will be locked in place until it reaches the tip ring. Do not be alarmed. Continue winding and the float will be gently forced down the line until your next cast. Over the years since its invention, the Polaris float system has gained a cult status among specialist anglers and has earned a deadly reputation with its unconventional approach to bait presentation. Polaris is certainly different from the rest. These floats offer a new and different approach to mainstream fishing methods and will overcome problems where other tackle fall short. There's no more guessing where your alleged bait is. With Polaris you can see exactly where you're fishing. These floats are more sensitive than a quiver tip too, so there's no mistaking the bites. When the float disappears, it's fish on.